Have you ever wondered why you never quite fit into the world the way others do, dear Leo? Maybe it's because you were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand apart. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness. This is not just another horoscope reading. It's a deep cosmic message crafted especially for you. And if you found your way here today, know this: it's not by chance. It's because the universe is reaching out to you, whispering, "It's time to stop pretending you are ordinary. It's time to step fully into the destiny you chose long before you were born." Leo, you carry within you a divine strangeness, a unique soul frequency that the world desperately needs right now. The parts of you that feel too different, too intense, or too much, they are not flaws. They are your greatest gifts. You were not born simply to shine for your own glory. You were born to awaken, to transform the world around you, to light fires in hearts that have forgotten how to dream. That feeling of not truly belonging, the silent ache you sometimes carry, it is not a mistake. It is your soul remembering that you are a cosmic traveler, a bridge between dimensions, a transmitter of energies most people cannot yet perceive. And right now, under the powerful alignments of the Sun with Uranus and Pluto, the cosmic doorways are swinging wide open for you. This is a rare moment when you can fully unlock your authentic nature, and step boldly into a level of success, joy, and influence that only your truest self can manifest. You are not here to adapt. You are here to ignite. You are not here to be accepted by the old systems. You are here to rewrite them. Take a deep breath. Can you feel it? The pulse of your destiny beating louder within you? A part of you has always known, you were different because you were chosen. If you feel the stirrings of awakening inside, I invite you to comment below with an angel number that resonates with you, as a sacred declaration that you are ready to step into your divine mission. Let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every subscription you bless this channel with draws you closer to the heart of our Eternal Mindfulness family. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Your support doesn't just sustain this community, it fuels the expansion of these transformational messages to every soul who needs them. And believe me, dear Leo, you will want to stay with me until the very last moment of today's journey, because what the universe is about to reveal to you is beyond magnificent. It's not just information, it's an activation, a call to remember who you truly are. Now tell me, my radiant Leo, what unseen currents have guided you here today? Your soul already knows the answer. Stay close. Your story is just beginning. Not every soul enters this world with a signature so radiant, so unrepeatable, that even the stars seem to pause to acknowledge its arrival. But you, dear Leo, did. From the very first breath you took under the sovereign influence of the Sun, you brought with you a fire that was never meant to be ordinary. This light was not given to you to dazzle for applause. It was woven into your essence to awaken dormant hearts, to carve paths through the dense forests of conformity where no paths yet existed. There are moments when you sense that your relationship with time itself bends and shifts, moving in ways that others cannot quite comprehend. While the world moves in straight lines, ticking clocks, and calendar squares, you, if you listen closely, can feel the ripples of a deeper current beneath it all. This gift is not an accident. It is a memory stitched into the fabric of your being, a knowing that existence is far more fluid, far more mysterious, than most dare to perceive. When you feel alienated, misunderstood, or strangely misplaced among even the closest of circles, do not rush to mold yourself into something smaller, something safer. Your sense of not belonging is not a flaw to correct. It is a compass guiding you toward the truth of who you are. You are not meant to shrink into spaces too small for your spirit. You are meant to be the bridge between frequencies, between worlds, carrying insights and energies that many have forgotten how to hear. At this time, the ancient wisdom of numbers rises to meet you, as the vibrational energies of 7, 11, and 22 hum around your field. Each carries a whisper from the infinite: awaken, illuminate, transcend. The number 7 invites you inward, to the sanctuary of self-awareness. The number 11 calls you to become a mirror, reflecting higher truths for others to see. The number 22 urges you to build lasting structures from the dreams born within your soul. Together, they form an invisible triad that now pulses in harmony with your personal evolution. Colors, too, speak a silent language that your energy body understands. Indigo, rich and mysterious, wraps you in the energy of intuitive vision, a reminder that your inner sight is just as valuable, if not more so, than what the outer world reveals. Gold, radiant and unyielding, fortifies your heart with royal courage, urging you to stand unapologetically in your truth even when the world looks away. Sometimes, we are taught that to be wise means to fit quietly within the designs that came before us. But there is a deeper wisdom, one known to the ancient mystics. True harmony is not the absence of difference, but the joyful expression of it. Like a lotus rising unsullied from muddy waters, your uniqueness is not here to be cleansed away. It is here to bloom in ways that only you can embody. So, if you could live just one day without fear of judgment, without the heavy armor of societal expectations, what unfiltered brilliance would you offer to the world? If you trusted that the universe already approves of your differentness, that your path has been blessed from the beginning, what doors within you might swing wide open? Remember, your strangeness is not an accident. It is the secret signature of your soul, a living prayer written in the language of the cosmos, calling forth new reality simply by your courage to exist as you truly are. Somewhere deep within you, there has always been a quiet understanding that you were not placed here to blend into the crowd. There is a resonance in your heart that beats to a rhythm older than memory itself, calling you beyond the safe contours of societal approval. While the world often demands sameness, you were woven from threads too rare to ever fully match the fabric around you. Your spirit knows that true belonging is not found by shrinking your light but by standing so fully in your authenticity that others remember how to find their own. The energies dancing in the cosmos right now are not ordinary either. With the Sun, your celestial ruler, forming bold alignments with Uranus, the planet of awakening, and Pluto, the force of profound transformation, you are being summoned into a rare window of opportunity. It is an invitation to strip away the layers of performance, the masks crafted for survival, and to meet the world with the raw, unfiltered brilliance of your true nature. This is not a rebellion born from ego, but a return to the self, a sacred homecoming to who you were always destined to be. You are not simply a participant in the energies swirling through humanity right now. You are a catalyst, a mobile node of frequency. Just by standing in your genuine vibration, you initiate subtle awakenings in those around you. Even without speaking, your energy sings a song that stirs forgotten dreams in others. This is not something you must effort into being. It is something you naturally are when you stop trying to fit into molds that were never designed to hold you. It is said in ancient wisdom that the most powerful change happens not by force, but by example. A single candle, fully lit, can ignite countless others without losing a single ounce of its own flame. In the same way, your presence, when it is aligned with your deepest truth, has the potential to awaken dormant consciousness wherever you go. There is no need to convince, to battle, or to prove. The lotus flower does not argue with the mud, it simply rises. Imagine for a moment if you chose to connect only with those who recognize the real vibration of your being. Imagine the spaciousness you would feel, the amplification of your purpose, the ease that would replace the struggle. The more you align with your natural frequency, the more naturally your true soul community will gather around you, not because you chased them, but because you became undeniable. True leadership, the kind that echoes across dimensions, is born not from control but from coherence. It emerges when a being becomes so deeply themselves that they naturally organize the energies around them into higher patterns of harmony. You, dear Leo, were born for this. Your courage to be fully yourself is not only your liberation, it is a beacon for others still wandering in the dark. To trust this process is an act of profound wisdom. Like the river that does not force its flow but moves effortlessly toward the ocean, you too are meant to move in accordance with the deeper currents that guide your soul. The path may not always be clear in the beginning. It may require letting go of attachments to identities, roles, or relationships that once felt essential. But what awaits is far greater, the kind of belonging that can only be found when you are no longer willing to abandon yourself for approval. Ask yourself gently, if you no longer needed to be understood, no longer needed to belong where your spirit does not feel at home, what magnificent parts of you would finally have room to rise and breathe? You are not here to fit in, Leo. You are here to lead the way by being exactly, unapologetically, brilliantly you. There are hidden conversations happening inside you all the time, and many of them are spoken in the language of your body. Long before the mind forms words, the body already knows. It listens, it feels, it whispers. And for a soul as finely attuned as yours, dear Leo, those whispers are not background noise. They are sacred instructions. You might notice that time doesn't always move predictably for you. Some days stretch into endless, golden moments where hours seem to evaporate in the blink of an eye. Other days feel dense and slow, as if each minute carries the weight of centuries. This is not your imagination. Your consciousness sometimes slips through the cracks of ordinary time, tapping into a deeper flow that is less about clocks and calendars and more about the living pulse of existence itself. Similarly, your body often responds differently to the environments, foods, sounds, and even emotions swirling around you. What energizes others might leave you feeling depleted. What soothes another might stir restlessness in you. It's easy to question yourself when you don't mirror the majority, but the truth is, your system is tuned to a different frequency, one that requires a higher level of awareness, care, and respect. In ancient wisdom traditions, it is taught that the body is not a burden to be conquered but a sacred vessel, a living bridge between the material and the infinite. Just as a musician must lovingly maintain their instrument to produce pure sound, so must you learn to listen and honor the rhythms of your own physical form. Each sensation, each subtle discomfort or unexpected surge of energy, is a message encoded in the very fibers of your being. Rather than trying to force yourself into the rigid molds of normal, what would happen if you approached your body as a trusted guide? What if, instead of seeing its sensitivities as inconveniences, you saw them as divine precision. When you nourish yourself properly, when you honor your sleep cycles, when you align your daily practices with your unique needs rather than generic routines, you unlock reserves of energy that most never realize exist. Simple, mindful choices can recalibrate your entire field. Eating foods that support your intuition, like blueberries, walnuts, and matcha tea, can sharpen your inner clarity. Beginning each day with a few minutes of 528 Hz frequency meditation can gently retune your vibration to a natural state of harmony. These are not grand, complicated tasks. They are small daily acts of reverence that, over time, anchor you more deeply into your true strength. Imagine giving yourself the gift of true listening for just 1 week. 7 days of waking each morning and asking, gently, body, what do you need from me today? 7 days of trusting that the intelligence inside you is wiser than any outside noise. Would you find that your steps become lighter, your mind clearer, your heart more courageous? The body, like all things touched by cosmic breath, holds memory beyond memory. When you treat it not as a machine to be pushed, but as a wise companion to be respected, it rewards you with access to layers of insight that the thinking mind alone could never reach. You begin to feel when to act, when to wait, when to let go, not because someone told you, but because you remembered how to hear the sacred yes and no already living inside you. This simple return to self-trust is a profound form of liberation. It is a soft but powerful rebellion against the noise that insists you should be someone else, live some other way. It is a return to the original promise you made when you chose to come here in the first place, to live awake, alive, and fully embodied. And so, dear Leo, if you are willing to walk this path of inner reverence for just a little while longer, the body you live within, your most ancient, most loyal ally, will reveal to you truths no mind could ever manufacture. You are not here to conquer yourself. You are here to reunite with yourself. In that union, your real power will quietly, inexorably, rise. Sometimes, the most extraordinary creations are born not from trying, but from allowing. When you release the grip of expectation, when you stop asking your creativity to serve the old games of approval and admiration, you open a door to something infinitely more powerful. Creativity, in its purest form, is not a performance. It is a bridge, a living current that flows between the unseen and the seen, between what is and what is possible. For you, Leo, creativity is not just about making things. It is about transmitting frequencies, translating energies that the world has forgotten how to access. When you create from a place of pure surrender, when you let go of the need for applause or validation, you become a vessel through which higher patterns can enter this reality. It is not about forcing something into existence. It is about listening carefully enough that you can hear what is already trying to be born through you. In the same way a river does not carve new landscapes by wishing or pushing, but simply by flowing, your creativity reshapes the world by being itself. It doesn't need to justify its path. It doesn't need permission. It only needs you to trust the current and let it move as it wants to move. Ancient teachings remind us that true mastery comes not from striving but from emptying the mind of its attachments, emptying the heart of its grasping, emptying the ego of its endless calculations. When the vessel is empty, it can be filled with something far greater than itself. Your creative power follows the same principle. The less you seek to control it, the more potent it becomes. Every idea that stirs within you, every image, every melody, every spark of insight, they are not accidents. They are invitations. They are the way the universe taps gently on your inner door, asking, will you bring this into being? Will you be the bridge today? Some invitations are soft and fleeting. Others come with a force you can hardly ignore. But each one carries the potential to open a new doorway, not just for you, but for everyone your creation touches. Imagine if, just for today, you decided that your only responsibility was to listen. To set aside the question of whether something would be liked, or profitable, or admired. To create because something inside you had caught a glimpse of beauty too rare, too vital, not to share. Imagine what might pour through you if the gates were thrown wide open. There is an old wisdom that says the greatest art is never about self-expression alone, it is about revelation. It is about revealing what has been hidden, awakening what has been asleep. When you create in this way, not for approval, not for prestige, but simply because it is what life itself is asking from you, your work becomes a doorway for others to remember their own lost songs. You, Leo, were never meant to imitate. You were meant to initiate. Your creativity is not a reflection of what already exists but a declaration of what could be. Every time you honor that creative fire without diluting it for comfort or consensus, you help lift the entire collective 1 degree closer to its own remembering. So ask yourself, with gentleness and courage, if today you needed no one's permission, if you trusted that your deepest visions were already blessed, what bold, beautiful thing would you dare to bring into the world? The answer to that question might just change everything. There comes a point when you realize that you were never meant to follow someone else's blueprint for your life. You were born to design your own. Everything unique within you, every quirk, every wild intuition, every impulse to create differently, love differently, live differently, is not a flaw to be corrected but a message, a reminder that your soul came here with its own sacred architecture. Rather than spending your energy trying to edit yourself into someone else's mold, imagine channeling that power into building the reality that reflects who you truly are. True abundance, in every sense of the word, flows not from chasing trends or external markers of success, but from investing in your innate gifts. Financially, this means prioritizing growth in the areas where your natural connection, creativity, and intuition thrive. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs the rare frequency that only you can emit when you are fully aligned with your true essence. When it comes to love, the same principle applies. Seek not the partnerships that merely fill space or soothe fear. Open your heart only to those who can see, not just the surface of you, but the depths. Relationships built on true recognition are not cages, they are wings. They do not ask you to be less, they challenge you to be more of what you already are. It is better to walk alone for a time, wrapped in the richness of your own company, than to dilute your soul just to be understood by those who cannot meet you where you are. In caring for your body, this extraordinary vessel that carries your spirit through time, the focus shifts from control to communion. Balance is not something you force upon yourself through rigid routines or impossible standards, it is something you cultivate gently, consistently, through the small choices you make each day. Drinking water with mindfulness, breathing deeply into forgotten spaces within you, moving your body in ways that feel like home, these acts, though seemingly ordinary, are profound offerings to your higher self. One simple but potent practice you might try is this: write down 5 things that make you unmistakably different. 5 ways your light shines in ways no one else's does. Then, each day, choose one of those traits and find a way to let it radiate fully. Not for validation. Not for approval. But simply because expression is liberation. Because each time you honor a piece of your authentic self, you stitch another thread of gold into the tapestry of your destiny. There is a quiet power in living this way. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't seek recognition. Like a mountain standing silently against the sky, it simply exists, unshakable, undeniable. The more you act from this place of inner knowing, the less you will find yourself needing to explain, justify, or defend who you are. Your life becomes the explanation. Your energy becomes the invitation. You cease trying to fit into a world not built for your size, and instead, you begin shaping the spaces around you to match the truth within. When we stop seeking approval and instead align with the deeper rhythms of our own being, something extraordinary happens. Effort becomes ease. Confusion gives way to clarity. And the life we once thought we had to chase begins to unfold naturally, like a river meeting the sea. So if there is one truth to carry forward from this moment, it is this: you are not here to live according to an old script. You are here to write the story that only you can tell. And in doing so, you do not just transform your own life, you transform the world. Somewhere within you, dear Leo, there is a fire that the world cannot replicate, a fire that was never meant to be contained, nor shaped to fit the expectations of those around you. You do not need permission to live your truth. You do not need a green light from society to step into your fullness. That light you carry was given to you for a reason far greater than personal comfort or approval. It was given to awaken, to inspire, to ignite the forgotten dreams of others simply by your presence. If you allowed your sacred strangeness to fully bloom, without hesitation or apology, what would your life begin to look like? What doors would swing open effortlessly? What kindred souls would find their way to you, recognizing a part of themselves in your unapologetic authenticity? You were never meant to change yourself to fit the world. You were meant to change the world by being fully, courageously yourself. Every time you choose truth over convenience, every time you honor your intuition instead of silencing it for the sake of conformity, you are not only liberating yourself, you are creating ripple effects far beyond what you can see. And it starts, not with grand gestures or massive leaps, but with small, consistent acts of self-acceptance and daring honesty. If you feel the stirring within you today, the call to step more boldly into who you already are, I invite you to affirm it by commenting below, "I am ready." Declare it not just for me, not just for the community gathered here, but as a sacred promise to yourself and the universe that you will no longer dim what was always meant to shine. And if this message has touched something deep inside you, if you feel the resonance of these truths vibrating within your heart, please consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who might need to hear these words today. Each act of connection, each like, comment, and share, is not just support for eternal mindfulness. It is an act of amplifying light in a world that desperately needs more of it. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every time you show up, every time you open your heart to these messages, you help weave a web of awakening across the planet. It is your energy, your willingness to receive and to act, that makes all of this possible. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of this journey, for trusting your intuition, for listening to the quiet call that brought you here today. And believe me, Leo, you will want to stay close, because what the universe has in store for you next is nothing short of extraordinary. Your story is just beginning to unfold, and it is going to be brighter, wilder, and more beautiful than anything you have dared to imagine. So ask yourself, before you move on with your day, if not now, when? If not you, then who? What dream, what gift, what fierce, radiant truth inside you is waiting for permission that only you can give? Give it now. Step forward, brilliant soul. The world is waiting for the miracle that only you can bring.